Today we celebrate the feast of the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. This past Wednesday we celebrated Jesus' birth, and now in the Gospel today we jump ahead to where Jesus is 12 years old. We seem to have skipped a little, but that's because much of the family life of Jesus growing up in Nazareth is hidden from us. It's not mentioned in the Scriptures. And in today's time where we have an overload of information, innumerable photos from all of our daily lives, even some parents who might post maybe a little bit too much from the lives of their children online, this silence might seem to be strange. But we need to regain appreciation for the great value of silence. St. Paul VI wrote that the silence of Nazareth should teach us how to meditate in peace and quiet, to reflect on the deeply spiritual, and to be open to the voice of God's inner wisdom and the counsel of his true teachers. So if we do this, if we meditate upon the meaning of today's scriptures, we do hear something of what this hidden life at Nazareth was like. You hear that Jesus was obedient to his parents, that he advanced in wisdom, age, and favor before God and man. And we do know some insights from what a typical Jewish family life would look like. It was indeed centered upon daily family prayer, including the praying of the Psalms and the reading of the Scriptures. Each Saturday morning, the family would attend the Sabbath service, which included the reading from the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, as well as the chanting of the Psalms in the community there at their local synagogue. And this also should be the foundation of our own home life today, to teaching our children the importance of personal prayer and then coming together each Sunday here for Mass. The Jews were also expected to travel to Jerusalem for the high feasts each year, in particular the Passover, which is the background of the Holy Family's pilgrimage in the Gospel today. Jesus had, of course, been first presented to at the temple as an infant. And now, here again, he goes up to the temple at Jerusalem for this Passover, which has particular importance, for it was really the dawn of his manhood. This was the age of 12 in the Jewish tradition. And it was at this key turning point in his earthly life that Jesus is going to take the name of Father that he would have been used to applying to Joseph. And now he's going to address it to God as his Father. Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house? And there was no need for Mary and Joseph to be anxious. Was it not themselves, the ones who had been teaching Jesus to understand God in this way? Today's psalm, Psalm 84, is referred to as a song of Zion. It expresses a longing for God's house, and it was likely sung by those making their way to Jerusalem for the feast like Passover. And so just think of Joseph and Mary teaching Jesus to pray those words. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. My soul yearns and pines for the courts of the Lord. Then how could they be surprised to find Jesus there at the temple? Mom and Dad, you're the ones who taught me that this was our Father's house. Parents, hopefully you also have similar experiences, moments where your children may also surprise you of the things they do or say based upon the faith. If you've been teaching them to pray, to learn to see God, not just as your God, but as their Father, then these moments will occur. I know there's many pressures in our modern world that tell parents, in particular, all of the many things that you absolutely must provide for your children, including every opportunity and activities and sports. But this feast of the Holy Family reminds us that much of this is extraneous. There is one thing that you must help your children to learn above all else, that they are beloved sons and daughters of God the Father. So parents, do you also, for yourselves, do you have this certainty that you yourselves are beloved children of God the Father, so that you can witness and teach this truth to your children? Just as it was for the Holy Family, prayer in the home and joining in the liturgy of the community remains essential for the lived experience of this truth. Prayer and the sacraments are foundational for helping us be convinced that we are a son or daughter of a loving Father. This moment was the first separation of Jesus from his parents, but it wouldn't be the last. Jesus would go off to do his Father's will during his years of public ministry, and finally there was the great separation through his passion and his death. How could Mary endure the grief of such separation? Well, knowing and pondering in her heart that her son knew that he was the Son of the Father, and that all times he could never be lost. He was just simply dwelling in his Father's house. So all parents, you too must face those moments when you can't physically be there with your child, when they themselves will later become adults and go off on their own. How much easier it will be knowing that your child understands who they are, that they have a Father who loves them, and that wherever they go, they need not be alone. Blessed are they who dwell in your house, O Lord.